Hey guys, welcome to Universal Talks with yours truly, Danette Mahabeer-Turner, Mrs. Universal Petite Jamaica 2026, alongside my beautiful friend Madeline Vernon, and she is the current Mrs. Kentucky Petite USA 2026. How are you?
Good, how are you? I'm so glad that we got it all situated. We had some bumps, but hey, what if we are women? We gotta adapt, right?
I thought about it afterwards when we figured it out. Of course, we're women, we're going to figure it out, right?
Exactly.
But it's something that we can even talk about right now. It's called pivoting. When you hit those speed bumps in any areas of your life, what do you do? And we could talk about that in pageantry as well.
That's so
In every era, whether you're a mom or a wife, life is going to bring you some pivoting, and so you have to be ready to art. And you're gonna have those unexpected moments and circumstances that are beyond your control. And so go girl power, we were able to
yeah.
figure that out. And though we weren't able to do this live on Facebook and YouTube, we are able to do this on Zoom, and we will post these to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and share this conversation with the world.
Yes. And honestly, that's the amazing part about women is that we can adapt. Like throughout time, women are so adaptable, and that's what makes us awesome?
Yes. So we're going to jump right into it. This is not an interview, it's more of a conversation. I've been doing pageantry since I was 7 or 8 years old. I was born and raised in Jamaica. Of
Wow.
course, that's the reason I am representing my home country, my birth country. It's so foundational for me in everything that I've ever done, even here in the United States. I was able to go back to my roots because my roots, my culture, my beginnings
Mhm.
define who I am today. And so I started pageantry when I was 7, 8 years old, did it all the way. And then here I am, a wife, a mom, and see this thing pops up on my Facebook as I'm scrolling, a sponsored post from Petite USA.
Mhm.
And I was like, so I decided to represent the state of Kentucky in a national pageant, which was my first national pageant and my first pageant in the United States.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was a big leap for me, but I was super excited for the game changing event that really changed my life sitting in front of you today as well. So, you mentioned that this was your first time in pageantry. Is that so?
This is my first time at Miss Petite USA. Honestly, this is my first Mrs. as a married woman
Ooh,
pageant. I got married in
congratulations.
January, so Mrs. is very new to me. I'm used to
Uh-huh.
this.
Embrace it.
Um,
Yes.
but I'm
Congratulations.
very excited for it. I've done like Miss America pageants before, and I did love them, but I've heard so many amazing things about Miss Petite USA and Mrs. Petite USA, like how life-changing it is just to go through this pageant, and I'm really, really excited to see what it has in store for me. I'm really excited about it.
I am excited for you. Talk about pivoting on here. We talk about how we got started in the pageantry, and
Yes.
now you're moving on to the national stage as a Mrs. and
Yes.
representing the bluegrass state is what I
Yeah.
always say when I was doing it. Proudly representing the bluegrass state of Kentucky,
It's such a
and it has
big part of
been a
Kentucky.
true honor
Mhm.
for me, and I will do my utmost best to support you on this journey, whatever experience I can share with you, or knowledge, or even just connections, whether it be a radio interview connection or a parade connection. And, you're just a skip and a hop away from me. I'm in Paducah, Kentucky, and you are in Bowling Green.
Yes.
But
Very,
lead
very.
me, yeah, lead me to my next point as we're picking conversations, and feel free to ask me anything. And, so you are not in Bowling Green, Kentucky at the moment. You
Oh,
are in
yes.
California. So you're like 2 hours behind the real time in
Oh
the
yeah, it
CST.
is definitely odd being in California. So a little bit about myself. My husband plays for the Giants, which is baseball. A lot of people are like football or baseball because there's a Giants football that I didn't know about. But so he got drafted last year. I guess it's been a year now, and so
Nice.
they flew us out to, well, they flew him out. I flew myself out to
You're like, I'm going
California.
with my man.
Yes, I was like, I'm not gonna stay here in Kentucky while you're having all the fun in California. So,
Right.
so this whole summer, pretty much since April, Cade's been, well, in April he went to Arizona for spring training, and then for the rest of the summer. He's been in San Jose, California, and I joined him halfway through the summer once I had all my weddings that I had everyone I know is getting married. I'm at that
Oh,
age where
wow.
everybody's getting married.
You started the whole fever.
Oh, apparently I started the year first wedding and it has not stopped since. So afterwards, I joined him here and we have been doing baseball every single week. It does not stop, but I love it. It's so much fun. So we're having a great time out here.
That's amazing. And so, with your work, how are you able to balance that? You must be doing something remote. Tell us about that.
Yes, so I work remotely for Morgan and Morgan, which is a law firm, an injury
Oh,
law firm. Most people in Kentucky know it because actually he's from Paducah. That's where he is originally
yes, I
from.
know exactly where the office is.
Yes, yeah. So he's nationally. I work for their media buying team, so I help with all the TV ads. I don't make any of the TV ads, but we buy the slots for them, which I didn't know personally was a option. I didn't know that people. I didn't even think about how you had to buy slots for televisions or and for radio. We do both. It's kind of interesting, like how many different occupations there are in the world that we just don't even think about, on a daily basis. So it's really fun. The people I work with are awesome, and I've loved every second of it. But I work remote, and it allows me to go with Cade everywhere. So we hopefully next year we'll be in Oregon with the blessed gods.
Oh, that is amazing. I love
Yeah.
that for you.
No, it
I
is.
love that for you. New wife. Here you are in petite
Yeah.
pageantry. And a lot of people don't know that petite is for women 5'6" and under, because a lot of the
Yes.
pageant systems have a minimum height requirement 5'7" and over. And
Yes.
so this is the largest national system that you are in right now, and you should be excited for this
I'm very
journey. I'm
excited.
so excited for you. And just a little note, I'll be in Chicago
Uh,
cheering you guys on,
and
back
I
to my
love
old
that about
stomping ground.
I think that's really what brought me to Miss Petite USA. Like, it's as I'm 4'10", so obviously I'm a very small
Ooh,
individual. Yeah. And
yes.
I did feel you do feel in other competitions that like inferiority of like I'm a small woman and this is a tall woman's game. It does feel like that. And so it really caught my attention and be like, this I feel like this is just something that I can really get into. I don't know if that's why it kind of spoke to you, because it does seem like other systems sometimes that you're at a disadvantage. And so it's nice to be on an even playing field in that aspect.
Oh, yes. So I'm 5'5", so I'm like barely making it to petite somewhat, but I'm also long-legged.
Yeah.
I have long legs depending what I'm wearing, so I can kind of go into, both worlds depending
Yeah.
what I'm wearing. And so, when I saw the petite, and just it's more than the height for me.
Yeah.
It is the fact that they focus on your platform, which is going to lead us to our next
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
And my platform has always been domestic violence awareness. I'm a domestic violence survivor
Mhm.
and published author of a book called Leave Alive, subtitled Goodbye Domestic Violence. And so when I saw Petite USA and that they're focusing on your platform, that is a big part of how they select these state queens and regional queens to compete in the nationals. It was a game changer for me. How about you?
Yeah, honestly, I really do love that aspect. My platform is Rise Above Anti-Bullying, which I don't like to call myself a victim or, of anything, but, I did struggle with that a lot when I was younger, especially,
Mhm.
being small. It's kind of easy to pick on the smaller person, especially in elementary
Right.
school. I struggled with it a lot. And, but as I got older, I realized like, it doesn't matter. People's words don't matter. It matters what you have in your heart. But I needed that to be pointed out to me and to like, you know, to realize that it's okay who I am. It's okay to be small. It's okay
I
to
love
be
that.
different. I'm also Puerto Rican and Kentucky at the time there wasn't a lot of Puerto Ricans. There wasn't a lot of Hispanics. So now it's such a different ball game, but it's it was difficult as a child growing up and not having, people around me that that were small and that were Hispanic and that, my mother speaks with an accent. A lot of children my age didn't know what a person with an accent even sounded like. They were used to a country accent. So it was
Yeah, totally.
having that, like having a group of people around me to like build up my confidence, and I was like to be that for a if I could go back and be that person for me as a younger person, it would have just been so different. So I love the idea of like being able to build up the younger generation and help them with their confidence. Because you know, sometimes it's scary growing up, you
It
know,
is.
being
It
different.
is.
And I bet you felt that a little bit in Kentucky, you know, being from Jamaica and you have an accent, you know?
Well, I have not dealt with like the bullying side or
Yeah.
feeling indifferent, honestly. I've had a different experience where people fall in love with my accent
Yes, yeah.
because, Jamaica, just to give you a little bit about Jamaica, a lot of people know that we do have a dialect, or, a lot of people think it's a different language. It's not an official language, it's a dialect, and it's
Mhm.
called patois.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
how I share this is that, back in the days, many different types of people came through Jamaica from slavery days. And so, we had the French there, we had the Spaniards, the
Yeah.
Spanish, and,
Mhm.
and so on. But we were ruled under the British until
Okay.
we gained independence in 1962. And
Wow.
so our official language is English, but specifically the British English. There is the American English and then there's the British English. So we're very proper people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because of that, people sense my accent because of the emphasis that's placed on various parts of the syllables in a word.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of find more people like, you see someone with hair and you're like trying to walk up to them and kind of touch them like
Yeah,
you want
they're
to see
like,
if they're real. That's how people kind of draw into me like, oh my God, keep speaking. I
yes.
love your accent. Where are you from? I hear an accent, and I'll use it as a game. Like, make a guess, and they'll say Trinidad and Tobago, they'll say Ethiopia, and it just,
Yeah.
I get a kick out of that because, just to hear like where people say I'm from. And then of course you have the 20% that says that's Jamaica, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we've been so many times. And
I know
so,
a lot of people from
yeah,
Kentucky love to visit Jamaica. So I
yes.
had so many friends growing up and they're like, we just went to Jamaica and we absolutely loved every second of it. I haven't been yet. It's on my list, but I haven't been.
Hey, you
Usually
know,
my family goes on vacation somewhere like kind of tropical and warm. We go to Puerto Rico. So
I love that too. I mean, I'm looking forward to, visit like Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and just different
okay.
parts of the world. And so this universal journey for me is now opening up not just connections with other women and queens from different parts of the world, so I can connect both their platforms and vice versa, my platforms into different areas of the world,
Yeah.
because as we know, domestic violence and bullying
Mm.
is not a national crisis or issue. It is a global crisis. It's happening
Yeah.
every day. It's happening no matter what your age.
Yep.
It's happening everywhere we can think about, too often. And so we're here, both of us, on two different missions. But I love that we can collaborate and support one another, regardless of what the platforms are, and
Yeah.
regardless of the fact that you're going to nationals and I'm going to universals. And so I love this connection, and I am super, super excited for you. How
Um,
are you
so
preparing for nationals?
honestly, I feel like it has taken a little bit of the back burners. I get home to Kentucky in like 2 weeks, the season will end, and I was like, it's go time when I get home. But I have been preparing like some things to get ready for when I get back home. So like I've been preparing like some things to talk at schools and like making a slideshow and making sure like my moving pieces are all together. So when I get back to Kentucky, I can really hit the ground running. What about you for Universal? How are you preparing?
Oh, I'm excited. As you can see, my backdrop in the background, I don't have all my stuff. My favorite songs picked out. And the apparels. I have upcoming appearances already,
Wow.
both nationally, locally, and also international as well. And so I'm looking forward to connecting those dots. And
Mhm.
I have a few more Instagram lives and stuff coming up, collaborations, lots and lots of collaborations and
Yeah.
media appearances and parades. And, I do a annual domestic violence awareness walk.
Wow.
And so this year is the second annual, but we have to have a start. And
Yeah,
I'm
of
also
course.
looking to bring that internationally instead of just Kentucky.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I really think it's awesome that you know, you have you did the US and you did Kentucky and you that's where you are now, that's where your home base is, but to go back to your roots is so awesome. I know that's so exciting. Are you excited to go on the Universal stage this year?
I am so excited. I love a challenge. I am also competitive when it comes to like, challenging myself more so than competing against somebody. If that makes sense. I'm always looking to be the better version of myself than I was yesterday. And
Mhm.
so just seeing my personal growth through it all when I accepted Petite USA to all the things I've done for that entire year and what I'm doing now. I love looking back 6 months ago and also just predicting 6 months ahead of me, and I'm super excited because I'm always one to say the best is yet to come, and
Yeah.
I've grown so much. So many opportunities, so many open doors, and it's been a beautiful journey. I would not trade it for anything. And as you know, like as I said, like I'm representing Jamaica to the fullest. I've always represented Jamaica, though I am a US citizen through naturalization. This
Yeah.
is the land of my birth. I was born and raised there. It molded me in the woman I am today. And
Yeah.
so I'm wearing Jamaican earrings,
Those are so
my
cute.
Jamaican scarf, yellow,
It's kind
and
of like how they
this
say you
this
can take
right
something
here,
out
I
of
don't know if you can
Jamaica.
see it,
Oh, I
but
can.
so my necklace is a map of Jamaica.
Oh, that's so
So in
cool.
Jamaica, we have what's called parishes. Here
Okay.
in the United States, you guys are bigger, so it's called states. So
Okay.
just think states for a moment. We have 14 parishes.
Oh,
And Kingston is one of them, and then St. James, which is where Montego Bay is one of them, and so on. And
okay.
I was born and raised in the South, called Clarendon was my parish. And so just having this necklace, which shapes like Jamaica, literally, and then we're surrounded by water. And
Uh-huh.
then on here, it's hard to see it, but there are engraved parishes on here, the map of Jamaica, and they're engraved parishes. It's hard to see it right
Yeah,
now,
but
but
it's
if someone is
cool.
like in person with me and they're like, "Oh, I like your earring, I like your Jamaican scarf," different things like that. But I can educate them with just a pendant of the map of Jamaica, and
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
really excited to share the music, the culture. I mean, Jamaica is known for so many great people.
Mhm.
Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world.
Yeah,
Bob Marley, the reggae icon that put reggae music internationally and universally. I mean, there's just so many great things that is bred out of Jamaica, and I'm just super excited for this journey.
yeah. Oh, it's so exciting. I mean, to be representing your whole country is just awesome. Like it just has to be so
Truly
exciting. And
humble,
so,
yes.
yeah, just, a lot of weight on your shoulders, it might feel like sometimes like that. I'm sure you're handling it with grace, though, knowing you're always put together and ready.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and
Thank
speaking of
you.
which, your podcast, maybe you should talk a little bit about that.
Oh, look at you, girl. Yes. So I do have a podcast. It's a podcast and a talk show put together.
Yeah.
And it's called Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. And we're currently gearing up right now for season 5.
Oh,
And when I did season 4, I was getting ready for nationals. So every episode, which is 12 episodes per season, I wore my sash and crown and introduced myself and tell that I will be representing the state of Kentucky in a national pageant, and
wow.
gave them that information for Chicago in July.
Yeah.
And so now I'm actually working behind the scenes to get all my sponsors together for my talk show and podcast, which is available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Music, YouTube. We have a TikTok and Instagram, a Facebook page, and a Facebook group.
Wow.
And every episode is fully sponsored. And then, of course, every episode, there is a guest on the show as well. So I was blessed to interview the mayor of Paducah on my
Oh,
show,
that is
and
so
former
exciting.
NFL player George Wilson.
Wow.
So, yeah, I started this podcast on my living room couch when I lived in Nashville.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I just had a vision, and that's what I would tell anyone that's watching this video of you and I. And I hope that whatever we're saying on here, though it's conversational, that someone listening can be inspired by something you said and something I said,
Mm,
because what it's all about is that we're empowering other women, other queens,
yes.
whether they're already doing pageantry or they're sitting on the couch watching this and don't really know if it's time for them to take that step. I will just say, just do it. And so
Yeah.
that's what my talk show and podcast was for me. I had a vision. I knew that I wanted to execute. So I pulled my husband and I said, hey, sit beside me. I have a topic. It's all society based platform. You're going to be my first guest. So if anybody goes back to Spotify and type, Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, season one, episode one was my husband. I just wanted to start the execution process because I had a vision. So if you have a vision, you have a goal, you write it down, that's there. Now it's time for you to take action.
Yeah, and I think that's so, telling as a Mrs. candidate. Like, your husband is your number one supporter a lot of the time, like it's kind of different.
Cheerleader.
Yeah, he is your cheerleader. Like sometimes as a Miss candidate, you don't talk about, boys, you don't talk about your other half.
Yeah.
But I love that as a Mrs. candidate, my husband is a part of me. Like
Yeah.
he is a part of my life. He's my best friend, and it's great to have like it's a new section of pageantry that you don't really think about when you are a missus, that like, just because, you're going through life, pageantry can still be in your life. You're never too old for it. And that's another thing that I loved about the universal petite system or the Mrs. USA petite system is that like there are so many age ranges and so many women that there's no one, you're not in a category and
Right.
the only category you're seeing a broad range of women like you, somebody who does you call yourself a serial entrepreneur, you see
You
so
did
many
some research,
people.
did you?
Exactly. Yeah. Like you see so many different women in so many different stages of life, and
Yeah.
it's just so awesome. Like in Chicago, there will be so many different women of so many different calibers, and it's just so
Yes.
awesome that this system brings together all of us.
Yes, the sisterhood is amazing. And I will tell you, like, what I mean, for me, and I love that you brought that up because, nationals, you everybody's there to compete, but we also know that there's one winner, one crown, one sash.
Yeah.
For me, it was the connections, the great, genuine connections that I made and walked away with. Like, I have friends, we're in September, and I have friends that I talk to almost every day on the phone for an hour, like, at
Yeah.
least an hour, and they're entrepreneurs or they're working their jobs as well, but we find time to, and we're not just talking about pageantry, we're talking and sharing personal life experiences where I can encourage that person and vice versa, and share different parts of our lives that we wouldn't share on social media. And
Yeah.
so for me, walking away with those genuine friendships,
Yeah.
like you walk into a room filled with women, and I was able to connect with all of them, but then I was able to walk away with a handful that I'm like, these are my homies. These are my
Yeah.
homies.
I, I- you know,
So
I
I
do feel
can't wait to
like
hear your post pageant
oh,
journey as
oh yeah, I
well.
will have to tell you everything about it once I get on that stage. I can tell you just how amazing it is. I'm sure it will be. I also do love that like it gives me after college, you kind of are in this limbo of like all of my friends are 2 hours away, like because you get used to college life where it's like, okay,
Yes.
I'm around my friends all the time, and then now I'm a married woman, and it's like I don't
Now
have
you
that
have a new
support
best
system
friend.
anymore. My friends are 2 hours and a half away. If I have a friend who lives in Florida, she's,
Indeed.
my bridesmaid, but now we're like 17 hours away. And it's like,
Oh,
so it's nice to meet new people because sometimes it is harder when you're older to meet a
yes.
new group of friends and to like make those connections. And I feel like this is such an amazing way to make those connections. I mean, take us for example, like now I have somebody who I can just, hey, I don't know what outfit I'm going to wear, like what do you think about this? And we can just, connect in that way because we have
Yes.
similar interests and we're all different people. I mean, me and you, we're very different stages of life, but we can connect over this and bond over that. And it's just so amazing that this pageant system just brings everybody together.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. So I'm here for you, Queen. Just know that I'm rooting for you. I'm full fledged supporting you here behind the scenes and pushing you.
Mhm.
So just whatever you need, don't hesitate to reach out.
And you
I
know,
am super
answer the phone.
excited to, yeah, I'm just so excited. I just want to give you a hug. Um, I just want to give you a hug, and I know I haven't met you in person yet, but the energy, the connection is just authentic and
Definitely
so
there.
genuine. So,
Yes, yeah, and I love that we have taken the time to like just get to know each other through this, and I'm sure we'll get to know each other in Kentucky soon when I get back, and we can, and I'm so excited to see you on the Universal stage, and I know you're
oh,
gonna rock
thank
it, and
you.
I'll be here rooting you all the way.
Thank you so much. And as I pass the baton to you, as your former Mrs., I should have had a fake baton, I pass the baton to you as the new Mrs. Kentucky Petite USA 2026. I wish you all the best on national stage. Make great connections, show up authentically and unapologetically yourself,
Mhm.
and just go shine bright like a diamond. And I love you. I love you. I know I said it.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of it today. This has been awesome.
Yes, my daughter just did something amazing as we're about to wrap up
Oh,
here. So she brought my Petite USA
oh, you're
crown,
handing
which
the
has
crown over.
somewhere and tear on it. But so she wants me to use it as a baton. So if
There
you
we
hold
go.
your hand out,
I wish I
I
had mine
hand
so I
you
could
the
like put it on my
petite.
head.
There you go. I hand you the girl. I hand you the
Oh, thank you.
petite crown, and you receive it. You go shine bright like a diamond,
Oh,
and all the best.